new cadets could never even imagine. The pomp and circumstance and hypotheticals of West Point would give way to blood and brains and severed limbs and all the other realities of armed conflict that never made it onto the evening news, let alone the pages of The Howitzer, the West Point yearbook. Proof of that, dating back to 1782, in the form of a soldier named Dominic Trant, lay in the old cemetery, just along the way on Washington Road. But that was over now. 10 months ago, following his Uncle Henry's death, had found Doc Holliday following the trail of a crusader's sword that led him and his cousin, Peggy Blackstock, halfway round the world and to a secret that had changed his life forever. A Templar treasure hoard that now lay securely hidden in an ancient castle in the south of France, the Château de Ravanche. Now he was hostage to that treasure, bound as a steward to its awe-inspiring secret. For months, he had wrestled with his obligations and finally realized that in good conscience he could no longer spend his time teaching history. It was time to live with it. He had handed in his resignation to the superintendent and agreed to finish out the year. Now, the year was done. Holliday reached the edge of the plain and turned down Washington Road. He went past Quarters 100, the old Federal-style house that occupied the superintendent, and headed onto Professor's Row. His own house was the smallest on the tree-lined avenue, a 2-bedroom Californian bungalow built in the 1920s, all oak paneling, stained glass, 20s furniture, and polished hardwood floors. Married quarters, even though he'd been a widower for more than 10 years now, but when he signed on at West Point after Kabul and the idiotic accident that had taken his eye, the little house had been the only accommodation suitable to his rank. Holliday fumbled with his keys, managed to unlock the front door and let himself into the dark house. As usual, just for a second, some small part of his heart and mind imagined that Amy would be there, and a second later, he'd feel the soft sweep of sadness as he realized that she wasn't. It had been a long time, almost 10 years now, but some pain just didn't go away, no matter what the philosophers said. He tossed the keys into the little dish on the sideboard that Peggy had made for him when she was 12 and headed down the hall to the kitchen. He switched on the gas beneath a pot of cowboy coffee he always kept on the stove, then went to the bedroom and stripped off his uniform. Even tipsy, he made sure he hung it neatly in the closet beside his Ranger Class A's, and then slipped into jeans and a t-shirt. He went back to the kitchen, poured himself a mug of the bitter brew and carried it to the small living room, a book-lined rectangle with a short couch and a few comfortable old chairs, arranged around a green-tiled craftsman fireplace, complete with the original mother oak keystone. Outside it was fully dark now, and Holliday felt a chill in the room. He laid the fire, lit it, and dropped down into one of the armchairs, sipping his coffee and watching as the flames caught in the kindling and licked up into the larger logs. 10 minutes later, the fire was burning brightly, and a circle of warmth was expanding into the room, the evening chill dissolving in the face of the cheerful blaze. Holliday's glance drifted up to the object hanging over the fireplace mantel on 2 pegs, glittering almost sensually in the dancing light. The Templar sword that he and Peggy had found in a secret compartment in Uncle Henry's house in northwestern New York. The sword that had started it all. 31 inches of patterned Damascus steel, its hilt wrapped in gold wire, the wire coated with its remarkable message. A sword that had once belonged to a crusader knight named Guillaume de Gisors, 700 years in the past. A sword once possessed by both Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. Twin to the sword that Holliday had used to kill a man less than a year ago. The deadly weapon hanging above the fireplace was Hesperios, the sword of the West.